Guys, welcome to Melbourne Mum Blog. Today I am going to be talking about intermittent fasting, but I am not alone. I actually have someone very special today to talk about intermittent fasting with us. And what I thought कि rather than मैं अपना experience सिर्फ share करूँ, मैंने सोचा कि why not get someone who is actually a professional and can help us answer the questions that you guys have been asking me. So today I have lovely Sana who lives in Toronto, and she is a nutritionist and a registered dietitian. So I'm gonna ask her a few questions and she's gonna give me the answers for those, and then I hope this session gives you some sort of guidance of how intermittent fasting works, what are the do's, don'ts, how should it be done, who should be doing it, and all of that. Sana, thank you so much for being part of this. I really appreciate it. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi there, my name is Sana and I go by Sana_dietitian on Instagram. A little background about me. I completed my bachelor's in nutrition and my master's in dietetics in Australia, and I was an accredited practicing dietitian there. I have moved around a little bit, so worked in the Middle East for some time, and I currently run a private practice in Toronto, which is dedicated to weight management and chronic disease management.
Wow, that's great to know you used to live in Australia. We would have loved to meet you. But now that you're in Toronto, I'm sure you're doing a great job there as well. So starting off, the first question that I have been most commonly asked is, why is intermittent fasting practiced? So if you can please let us know a little bit about why would someone do intermittent fasting, that would be great.
So intermittent fasting is not really a diet, it's an eating pattern. And it's actually been practiced throughout human evolution. It's part of a lot of religions as well. And the main idea is you're just resting your digestive tracts and giving your organs a bit of a break from constantly digesting food, constantly producing hormones in order for us to, utilize the food as energy. To break that down a little bit, it basically helps to manage our insulin spikes. So the fact that you are restricted to eating within a certain window and you're not constantly eating throughout the day, it reduces the amount of insulin spikes in our bloodstream. So basically, whenever we eat, right? Our pancreas starts to produce insulin, pumps the insulin out, and then our insulin helps us use that energy, and the energy that we aren't using gets stored as fat for later use. And unfortunately, that later use never happens because then we are eating our next meal, right? So intermittent fasting really helps to narrow down your eating window, and that way your body is able to use some of that stored fat. So that's where you start seeing the benefits of intermittent fasting.
Thank you so much for that. So my next question is, what are the benefits of intermittent fasting? Because of course, everyone who wants to do it wants to, of course, know what are the benefits, which is the most important part. So if you can tell me a little bit about the benefits, that would be great.
So intermittent fasting can be a great tool for someone who either is trying to lose weight or does find that, most of their weight is around their waist circumference. It's great for someone who is perhaps pre-diabetic, and it's, if they're looking to improve their insulin sensitivity. So yes, if you have insulin resistance, this could be a great tool to incorporate, but of course paying attention to what your overall diet looks like as well. It also has shown improvements with bringing down the LDL, so the bad cholesterol. So there is some benefits in terms of heart health as well. And there are some reports with regards to your cognitive function. So people do mention that, they are able to think more clearly, or they're more alert, they have more energy. So these are some of the benefits. And I guess if you do have any sort of metabolic syndrome, then you may be a good candidate to trial the intermittent fasting.
Those are some great benefits, and I have to agree with the alertness that you have and the energy you have, because that's exactly how I feel every time I'm doing intermittent fasting. Usually when you're having your regular meals or you're eating normally, otherwise and not fasting, I do feel like it does affect my ability to have the energy that I should have. I feel bloated, my mood swings, things like that would happen. And intermittent fasting definitely has improved that for me for sure. So the next question is, who should and shouldn't be doing intermittent fasting?
So intermittent fasting is not for everyone. If you are underweight or you are breastfeeding or pregnant, it can actually do more harm than good. Even people who have a history of eating disorder, whether active or have, in the past have had an eating disorder, it would not be an ideal eating pattern for them. I would also suggest that women who do have some fertility issues should definitely, consult with your GPs, because there have been some cases where it can affect the regularity of your periods, which can then affect your chances of getting pregnant. So I would be a little bit more mindful there, and do your research, consult with your doctors, and not just sort of Google.
Oh, that's good to know, because it's pretty common sense anyways that if you are breastfeeding or you are underweight or you have any eating disorder, you shouldn't be doing intermittent fasting or any sort of other diet without consulting a professional. How long should a normal person fast for?
So there are a few variations in the way people practice intermittent fasting. You've got the alternate day fasting, you've got the periodic fasting, and you've got the daily time restricted fasting, which is the most popular one. So in that, you are fasting for 16 hours and your eating window is 8 hours. So which is pretty sort of reasonable. You are technically asleep for 8 hours at least. And if you do finish up your dinner at least 2 or 3 hours prior to bedtime, your fast starts there. Add in your other 8 hours when you're asleep, and then a couple more hours when you're awake. So I find that it's actually quite doable, but you don't really need to just jump in and start at the 16-hour fast. You could start off at a 12-hour and then see how your body's adapted, move on to the 14, and then sort of decide if you're comfortable with the 14 or 16 hours.
That's great to know, because I actually practice the 16-hour window of fasting and 8 hours of eating window. And I think that's the best one that anyone can practice, because literally, like Sana said, you are sleeping for technically 8 hours and the remaining is when you're fasting. So it doesn't feel that bad. Okay, my next question is, what should one eat or drink during that fasting window?
So during your fasting window, there are a few things you could sort of drink to help manage the hunger. So things like black tea or herbal teas, even black coffee, preferably no milk, unless it's just a splash of milk for color, definitely no sugar. So you could technically have these fluids during your fasting period, just to sort of curb the hunger.
And that's literally true. You should have liquids. It can be water or normal drinks. Of course, no sugary or fizzy drinks and things like that. With teas, of course, I have milk with it because I have done this for a while now. So I've started having milk and coffee in the teas or coffee. So, but yes, technically you shouldn't be having any milk, or you should be having just a splash of milk. So the next question is, what is recommended for people who are trying to lose weight with intermittent fasting?
If someone is practicing intermittent fasting specifically for weight loss purposes, it would still be quite important to pay attention to what you're eating within that 8-hour window. Doesn't mean that just because you were fasting for 16 hours, you would magically lose weight. You still need to be at a caloric deficit. And I highly recommend paying attention to the quality of your meals. So when you're eating in that 8-hour window, you need to pay attention to how well your meals are balanced. Are you incorporating the right amount of vegetables to ensure that you're not going to develop any nutrient deficiencies? Paying attention to your fluid intake as well. So luckily, fluids you can drink throughout the day, so you still want to make sure you're adequately hydrated, because that helps, or it has a huge impact on how well your body metabolizes food and just undergoing all the metabolic processes more efficiently. So yeah, you definitely need to pay attention to calories within that eating hour window as well, which I think is quite doable because you're restricted to only 8-hour eating window, which means you're less likely to really snack at night or eat sporadically during the day.
Thank you for that, Sana. And I have to say that that's exactly what I have been doing, or I have done with my weight loss journey. You really have to watch what you're eating. You need to have good amount of protein and greens in your diet. Make sure you're not just having easy, quick meals on the go, because nutrition is very important. All right, Sana, thank you so much. It really means a lot that you took the time out and you have answered these questions for me. I'm sure people would find this helpful. Guys, if you have any more questions, you can always go to Sana's Instagram page. It's Sana_dietitian. I'll put the handle down here, so make sure you go and follow her. And if you have any questions, just ask her. And if you guys have any questions related to intermittent fasting, make sure you comment down, and me and Sana will be happy to answer them for you guys. Again, thank you, Sana, so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure you share it with anyone who would find this helpful. Thank you. Bye.